How can you apply the Pythagorean theorem to GED multi-step problems? Imagine you're trying to find the length of a diagonal fence in your backyard or the shortest path between 2 points on a map. These real-world situations often involve right triangles, and the Pythagorean theorem is the key to solving them. When preparing for the GED math test, understanding how to use this theorem in multi-step problems can make a big difference. First, remember that the Pythagorean theorem states that in a right triangle, the square of the hypotenuse, which is the longest side opposite the right angle, equals the sum of the squares of the other 2 sides, called legs. The formula looks like this. The square of side A plus the square of side B equals the square of side C. Before applying the theorem, always check if the triangle is a right triangle. Look for a small square in the corner of the diagram, which indicates a 90-degree angle. The side across from this angle is the hypotenuse, and it should be the longest side. When solving a problem, start by labeling the sides. For example, if you know the lengths of 2 sides, label them as A and B, and the unknown as C. Plug the known values into the formula. If you are missing a side, rearrange the formula to solve for it. For example, if you know the legs but not the hypotenuse, square the legs, add the results, and then take the square root of that sum to find the hypotenuse. Now, many GED problems combine the Pythagorean theorem with other concepts, like calculating distances or areas. For example, suppose a ladder leans against a wall. The distance from the ladder's base to the wall is 1 leg, the height the ladder reaches on the wall is the other leg, and the ladder itself is the hypotenuse. If you know the distance from the base to the wall is 6 feet, and the ladder reaches 10 feet high, you can find the length of the ladder by plugging 6 and 10 into the formula. Sometimes, you need to find a missing side in a problem involving multiple steps. First, use the theorem to find the unknown side. Then, if the problem asks for the perimeter, add all the sides together. If it asks for the area, use the appropriate formula for a right triangle, which is half the product of the legs. Memorizing common Pythagorean triples like 3, 4, 5 or 5, 12, 13 can save you time. Recognizing these triples helps you quickly identify missing sides without doing all the calculations. Practice is essential. Always draw a clear diagram to visualize the problem. Label each side carefully and write down the formula before plugging in numbers. Check if your answer makes sense in the context of the problem. For example, if you find a ladder length shorter than the height it reaches, you know something's wrong. Avoid common mistakes like applying the theorem to non-right triangles or forgetting to take the square root at the end. Also, be careful with the order of operations when solving equations. Using the Pythagorean theorem in multi-step problems is about recognizing right triangles, setting up the correct equations, and combining your knowledge with other math skills. With practice, you'll be able to handle real-world problems confidently and efficiently on your GED test.